I went all the way to Logan, Utah from Phoenix, Arizona to pick up this 1970 Plymouth Duster in Sassy grass from Jeremy at Shade Tree Vintage Auto. Also, this 383 big block that's going to go in it with a tunnel ram from Dave at Rust Bucket Restos. While I was in Utah, I got to meet up with T over at T's Good Times Garage and got to hang out a little bit. Unfortunately, it was a really quick turnaround, so I didn't get to spend nearly as much time as I would have liked with these guys. Maybe turn some wrenches, just kind of hang out. I suggest that you go check out their channels. I'll put the links down in the description below. And like I said, it was a quick turnaround time. I just had the weekend and had to get back to work on Monday. Hey guys, we're here with Terry at T's Good Times Garage YouTube channel. We're going to check out some of his cars.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to my mess. So this is a 1967 Dodge Dart. 440 base in there. It's actually just a 30 over stock stroke. Ancient TRW domed pistons.
See a full Indy top end on there.
Mm-hmm. Those are the cast iron version. So I guess they're almost a rare thing nowadays.
Vintage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I actually bought those in the 90s at some point. So a lot of this combination has been around that long. Small roller cam and 1050 Dominator, and actually would be a really good street engine.
That mild, huh?
Yeah.
Okay. That your time right there?
That's the last dial-in I had on it.
Okay.
That was in Vegas, probably March.
Yeah, not bad for the 8th.
Caught me off guard with the joke there. What do you mean the 8th? This thing's been 1090 in Vegas early in the year. I think that was in Matt's a couple of years ago.
I've seen in your other video on the other Duster that you had that rack and pinion.
This one's actually...
And this one also has it?
Is a rack car as well. But this is the poor man's rack, I guess, where you flip the ball joints from side to side.
Okay.
So the knuckles on the front, and then, you know, the rack gets kind of shoved in wherever
it'll fit.
Yeah, pretty much. And
yeah, they're at an angle. It looks like the rack could go back a little bit, huh?
I think so too, but
that way they're more straight. But
you know, I bought the car like this, and so my thought was eventually rip all that out and, you know, do an aftermarket K-frame swap and such.
So this one's for your son. How old is your son?
My son's 22.
A father-son project?
Yeah, pretty much. There's a little bit of a story behind this one. I had a bunch of early A bodies, and I had a 66 Barracuda that another guy I knew wanted, and so he offered this one up for trade for that car. And this car was a little nicer then. It's kind of been neglected some. But so I traded that and got this one, and then I sold it to a buddy.
A Gold Duster even.
And then he parked it, and then I bought it back, and then my kid commandeered it and drove it to high school.
Okay. And
you know, after he had graduated, coming home from work one day, it just all started knocking like crazy, and it sounded like a drum set. It was pretty bad.
But the slant sixes are supposed to last forever.
I know, right? And this car has killed 2 of them. The guy I got it from killed one in it.
Ah, yours is also the Space Duster as well.
Yeah.
My 74 is a Space Duster.
So he's got to decide what he wants to do back there, but I think he's going to ditch the back seat. And then we'll just make some sort of a bulkhead or whatever back there so he can race it if he wants. We are going to find out what works and what doesn't. So it's got a power box in it. That's usually a hindrance in things. And of course, I've modified this mount for the
440 or
383. 383.
Okay.
Well, so we'll see. We'll see what happens. But those usually get in the way, and that's why everybody manual steers them. Puts a manual box in them.
Freiberger's Crop Duster has power steering.
Oh, I don't think I knew. I probably saw that at some point, but yeah, I didn't ring a bell.
Yeah.
Huh.
Yeah, he's got. That was one of his things. He really wanted it. Wanted the power steering.
Well, I mean, we'll see if we can keep it. That'd be cool. But yeah, it's gonna go 383, 727, and 8 3/4.
This is 72, you said, right?
74.
Oh, this is a 74. Okay, same year as mine. So you got the big bolt pattern already.
This one doesn't.
Oh, because it was a 6-cylinder car.
It's a 6-cylinder, yeah,
there
drum brake,
that's right.
all that stuff. So.
That's right. Yeah, mine was a 318 car, so it had the disc brakes and the big bolt pattern rear end. That's right. Okay, that's right. The 6-cylinder ones kept the small lug pattern.
This is a full Chris Alston Chassis Works chassis. And I think, man, I sold my old Duster, and I had this one. This was a running, driving slant six car that I paid $250 for in the early 2000s. The only problem was there was so much rust in it that it needed everything.
Nice.
But yeah, this was supposed to replace the 71 that I sold back in 2005. And so I spent a bunch of money and a bunch of time and had this got to this point. But, you know, years later, it's still here, hanging in the garage. Not.
At least it's up and out of the way.
Right. Yeah, my buddy had some good ideas, so we just rung it up the chain hoist, and there it sits.
What year is this one?
This one's a 66. It's a Valiant. But I just love this body style. It's so cool for me. You know, I just think it's one of the greatest. The early A's, it's my favorite early A for sure. A street strip, you know, maybe even do some drag and drive, you know, small tire, no prep. But it'll probably stay ratty. But this one is definitely the new pride and joy. I originally owned this car. I bought it late 99 and raced it for, you know, 6 years or so or whatever, and then sold it to the guy that originally had turned it into a drag car. He came around, wanted it back, you know, and since I had that project in the, you know, hanging up in the works, it's kind of the next generation of my drag car, you know, situation. I said, okay, yeah, I'll sell it back to you, and I did. And well, 20 years passed. I got this car back, and that one's still hanging up in the rafters. So, yeah, what do you do? I absolutely love this car. You know, won a lot of rounds, few races in it. It got me a Wally way back when.
Oh wow, that's cool.
I've always had a lot of fun with this car, and you know, I spent a bunch of time and a bunch of money on it, you know, through the years. And
Is this the same motor that you had in it?
it's not.
Okay.
The motor I ran this with is actually in my Dart in the trailer.
Oh, okay. So you've been with that motor for a while.
Yeah. So this one, it's a stroker deal. I don't know exactly how big it is. 493, 496. It's that iteration of the 440 source kit.
Mm-hmm.
So it's about a 500, and I'll probably just call it a 500 because it sounds cooler anyway. And it was a pretty fast car when he ran it. It ran some 10.0s. I think he said he went 998 with it once in Vegas, and then he broke it. Had some top end issues, dropped valves or something serious like that. And then, you know, it sat. And then I made a video on it, you know, talking about one that got away. And he messaged me not long after that, and we talked for a couple of years off and on. I went and saw it one time, and finally we were able to, I guess, get it sorted out and get the deal made and get it back home. So yeah, now I've got too many drag cars.
Says no one ever.
That's right. I had the cage made into a cage from a bar way back when. So I'm hoping this car will need a chassis cert when we get it to the track.
See how fast it is.
It was close before, and
What's the time you need for what?
999 and quicker. It'll need a certification. But in theory, on paper, this thing should be a 9-second car. But yeah, that's the hope, that it will run that fast. There's no reason it shouldn't. But it was right on that edge before, and the things he did, you know, certainly would add some power and sort that out. He added a battery to it. It was just a single battery car back then, and I had rewired the car.
I didn't notice. Are you running an alternator?
Not right now. No, I've always been that guy. Never ran an alternator on a drag car.
You run two, so that way you have enough voltage if the batteries go down, because you're not charging them, right?
Yeah.
So if you're going rounds, you don't have time to charge it.
Right. That's the case, the use case, right? When you're hot lapping and you don't have that downtime in between to put a charger on it. But yeah, I typically do charge in between every round, regardless.
Oh, look at this. Poor Challenger. I hear that's going somewhere up north. Not sure what they're going to do with it, but it's going to get a second chance, I hear. And there's Jeremy's 340 yellow Duster. This thing is actually really cool. Cool in its, because of what it is and the fact that it's so original. I like it. She's a runner too. Hey guys, here with Jeremy at Shade Tree Vintage Auto YouTube channel, picking up this 70 Duster. Better get out of the way here. And that is precariously placed on there. Holy cow. Whoa. It's a little nerve-wracking. See if we can get it on the trailer here. So you're gonna follow me home with this to unload it, right?
It'll be a long drive.
All right, we got it on there. Tricky part now is getting it off of here. Yeah. Get it tied down, throw the rest of the parts in the car and truck, and hit the road to Dave's at Rust Bucket Resto's YouTube channel. Next stop. I'm here with Jeremy Shade Tree Vintage Auto, just picking up this 1970 Duster. Thank you very much. I know you guys are going, got family stuff to do.
Yeah.
But we're gonna build this thing and you'll see it on the channel. And thanks again, man, appreciate it.
problem.
So go check out his channel, Shade Tree Vintage Auto. Hey, we're here with Dave with Rust Bucket Restos. We just loaded up the 383 and go check out his channel. You've probably already been there, Rust Bucket Restos on YouTube.
Appreciate it, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got a whole bunch of shitbox Mopars going on. So then my man T-Bone here, he just picked up his first car. So you guys will be seeing that here in a couple weeks, but check it out.
It's got the gorgeous Ratty Satty. Seen this at several events. Sands Tunnel Ram. What do we got here?
It's a 1970 Dodge Super B, the Super Beast. And it's a Gen 3 Hemi swap, pretty hot rod. It should be around 600 horse with the TR6060 6-speed transmission and Dana 60. Should be an animal on the autocross track, hopefully here in the next month or so. So we got to have it done, finished, running, driving, racing in a month and a half. So
Your
we'll
work
see if
cut
we
out
make
for
it.
you.
Yeah, we'll see if we make it.
Well, we'll look forward to seeing this thing in action.
Yeah,
All right. Well, again, man, I appreciate everything.
appreciate it. Glad you can use it, and look forward to seeing what you do with it.
Yeah, I'm gonna see it on the channel.
Awesome.
All right, thanks a lot, man. We got the 383 loaded up. Kind of got it all strapped down. Hopefully it makes it okay. Got the intake already packed up in the car, and gonna get packed up, get headed back to Phoenix. So we'll see you then. Hey guys, I'm out here in Utah somewhere here at the Flying J tire shop. Really cool dude named George. If you're watching this, thank you so much. He found a blowout, well, a pending blowout on one of my tires, and hooked me up with 5 new tires on the trailer, and I can get down the road safely. Thank God I pulled off and for a pit stop and snack, and he was running around in a cart, pointed him out to me and got me all set up. So Gonna hit the road, about 8 hours left of driving. We get home, get this thing unloaded. All right, I just got back from a 1,600-mile round trip to pick up the 70 Duster from Jeremy at Shade Tree Vintage Auto and a 383 and tunnel ram from Dave at Rust Bucket Restos. It's time for bed. I gotta work in the morning.